chugga. Affirmation Station. What's today's affirmation? Welcome, sunshine, to Affirmation. My name is Charente Carr of JCLV 21, where I joyously coach life victory. And I am the conductor on this here train, where we learn how to maintain our mind, our body, and our spirit before heading to our next destination. This stop has transfer lines to the best day ever on platform 2, or the worst day ever on platform 3. Choose wisely how you're going to perceive your day. Like every show, I'll be walking you through 4 exercises to invigorate or kickstart your day with your mind at peace, your soul feeling loved, and your body feeling right. This show is recorded live on the Wisdom app Monday through Friday at Divine Timing. This episode, we're going to be focusing on career, as it is Wednesday. And later in our topic, in our walkthrough of this podcast, we're going to be talking about how do you start a business. And I'll be giving you little tips and tricks from Charente. So now with all that being said, let's ease some energy that has been stagnant. Let's shake it and wake it up just a little bit more. Without further ado, let me give you the cues to listen out for. If you hear this ding dong, means that it is time for an exercise to begin. And if you hear ding dong ding, that means an exercise has just been completed. It's been finalized, and it's time to give yourself a round of applause. Okay, so now that we know the sounds that abound on this ground, let's head over to our first exercise. This first exercise is called Say It and Claim It. This is all about speaking words of affirmation, declaration statements. If you're feeling down, it is so okay, accepted if you frown. Just remember to speak yourself back up by declaring some new things in your life or telling yourself, I love you. Here are the instructions for this exercise. Say these affirmations with me inside of that mind with your beautiful imagination. Or say these out loud with that beautiful voice of yours. If you want that maximum benefit, say these affirmations in front of a front mirror or front camera. Now, it's time to repeat after me to set you a little bit more free. I love myself. I trust myself. Myself. I value myself. I am brave. I am kind. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day and in every way, my life gets better and better. My success is inevitable. Exercise completed. You did it, you did it, you did it, my friend. You spoke life into yourself again. I am so proud of you for pouring love into yourself. Now let's head to the next exercise, as it's all about the relaxation and going into the silence. This exercise is called the breeze of breathing. This is where we focus on our life force, our chi, our prana, if you will, or our breath, if you do. Breathing is a natural thing that our body does without us even asking. Today, we are going to consciously breathe, and it allows us to energize our body, focus our mind, and allows us to be the light. It's amazing. So here are the instructions for this exercise. I have 4 sets because I'm really trying to make sure I cover what predicament your current body is in this present moment. So work with me here. If you're laying down, this first set of instructions is for you. Feel the support of the surface beneath you. Relax your shoulders and close those eyes. If you are driving in a vehicle in this present moment and you are the driver, please shimmy the booty from side to side. Get comfortable in that seat for your ride. Sit up straight, relax your shoulders, and keep your eyes open. Safety first. If you are not driving and you are in the sit-it-down variety, move your body from side to side, move booty from side to side. Get comfortable in that seat. Sit up straight with your feet on the ground. Relax your shoulders. Go ahead and close your eyes for better focus. And you can keep them open if you are cooking. Safety first. You never know. If you are standing up right now, stand up straight, relax your shoulders, and if it's safe for you to do so, close your eyes, but make sure you're leaning against a wall or something to support you. And if you don't want to do that, just keep your eyes open. That's a-okay with me too. It's whatever vibes with you and what feels right for you. Today, we're going to be doing the equal breathing technique. And it goes a little something like this. We're going to inhale through our nose for 4 counts. We're going to exhale for 4 counts. You get to deep, you really go. If you want that deep life, go ahead and breathe out through your nose. And if you want a little bit lighter approach, go ahead and breathe out through your mouth. It's a cycle effect versus a deepening effect. Okay. Now, with that being said, the only disclaimer I have for this exercise is please note, if you start feeling lightheaded, please soften or slow your approach or simply come to a halt. Now you know the instructions. Let's go. Let's start it. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 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 2, 3. Out. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. One more time. In. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 4. Release and go back to normal and natural breathing. Exercise completed. You did it. You relaxed that body, yaddy. And I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you. Now, let's get down to this next exercise. Ooh, that's a nice little jingle. I didn't mean to press that. Life happens. Let's begin this next exercise. I love this one because this is where we get to tap it in. Okay? In this exercise, we're going to be doing the emotional freedom technique, also known as EFT tapping, which is an alternative therapy for anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic pain, weight loss, fibromyalgia, and many other conditions. This technique to me is 2 of the 5 forms of love that we learn from Gary Chapman. And those love languages and those love forms are physical touch, which allows us to move the energy in our body, pairing that with words of affirmation. Today, we're going to be doing 4 taps, and they are going to be about the hand and then your thymus. So we're going to be doing the thumb, the index, the middle, and then tapping on our thigh. Okay. The reason we are doing these taps, I'm going to tell you that, and I'm also tell you where things are. So listen up. For the thumb, what you're going to do for this tap, before we actually tell you why, is you're going to be tapping literally on the top part of your finger. So literally where your nail meets your actual flesh of your finger, tapping up there in that area. Not the middle, but up there. Okay. The reason why we tap on this point, you can tap with one finger or multiple fingers, whatever works for you, is because it dissolves negative thinking, judgment, self-righteousness, grief, and loss, which allows acceptance of self and others, and healing from loss, and the ability to see the positives in life. When it comes to your index and to tap on your index, it's going to be the exact same part that we just talked about on the thumb, that fleshy part on your index finger, and tapping with one hand or one finger or 2 fingers, whatever works. That's why we tap on the index fingers, because it dissolves the difficulty of forgiving yourself and letting go of past hurt, which allows self-forgiveness, releasing the past, and being more joyful and peaceful in the present. Next is going to be your middle finger. The reason why we tap on this particular finger is because it dissolves anxiety and sexuality issues, which allows bonding, generosity, acceptance of self and others, and trust. Now the last tap that we're going to be doing is the thymus. The thymus is located 3 fingers from your collarbones. So literally touch on your neck and then feel down. You're going to feel some little knobs. Those knobs are your collarbones. Now take 3 fingers from there, and that's where your thymus is. It's that chest bone right there. And you can tap on it with your middle and your index finger together. You can knock on it like your Tarzan. Just be gentle with yourself. Or you can rub on that area to stimulate it. The reason why we tap on this area is because it activates this point. It balances our immune system, and this also locks in all of the dissolving and the allowing we just did with tapping on the thumb, tapping on the index, and tapping on the middle finger. Okay, that's the reason why we do that one. So now I gave you all the wheres, the whys. Let me give you hows, as in the instructions. And they are: accept what you're feeling right now. In this moment, accept it. Whatever emotion it is. Sad, happy, mad, angry, rage, fear, discouraged. Whatever it is, accept it. By you accepting it, you are literally now have an awareness of it so that a change can be fostered. And in this exercise, you're going to move that feeling. You're going to move the energy, and you're going to feel lighter after completing this exercise. The reason why I also tell you it's okay to accept this is because your emotions are simply a part of your alert system. And all your emotions are okay. They're all accepted because they're all a part of you, and you are a beautiful human being. Okay? So accept you. You're beautiful, baby. You are. So we're going to be using the affirmations from Say It and Claim It. And if you're ready, I'm ready to lead you through this exercise. Let's start with tapping on that thumb, and I will let you know when to switch. Now, repeat after me while tapping on your thumb. I love myself. I trust myself. I honor myself. I value myself. Pause, repeating after me. Switch to tapping on your index finger. Resume, repeating after me. I am brave. I am kind. Pause, repeating after me. Switch to tapping on your middle finger. Resume repeating after me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Pause, repeating after me. Switch to tapping on that thymus, that chest bone, okay? Resume repeating after me. Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day and in every way, my life gets better and better. My success is inevitable. You can stop repeating after me and you can release the tapping on your thymus. Exercise completed. You did it. You did it. You did it again. You are on fire, my friend. Ooh, I am so proud of you for continually pouring that love into you, for tapping it out, for moving that energy, and for uplifting your body. So very proud of you. The next exercise that we're going to roll into, I can't wait. So this next exercise is called venting gratitude, where we vent gratitude because gratitude is one of the best attitudes for real. Okay. And the instructions are very simple for this exercise. It starts by saying thank you. And then you start just saying what you're thankful for. If you want to throw in God or anything like that, do what you feel right. But in this moment, we're venting, y'all. We're venting gratitude. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You going to do what you're going to do. If you agree with me, say it with me. If you don't, say what yours is. But this moment, we're venting gratitude. You can say these out loud or you can write this down in your journal. But let's vent together. So, thank you, God, that we're at episode 56 of Affirmation Station. Thank you, God, that 19 people passed through on the Wisdom app. Thank you, God, for Twitter and social media, and thank you for all the stuff that you have sent me and people around the world that just are so encouraging. Thank you, God, for the external encouragement. Thank you so much for the courage that you gave me today. Thank you, God, that Affirmation Station is now officially available on all platforms that you can get podcasting. Thank you, God, for the goal. Thank you, God, for bringing this podcast to fruition from me just asking for a podcast last year. Thank you, God, that I made enchiladas like I promised that I would. Thank you, God, I cleaned out my fridge. Thank you, God, for your help and strength and all the divine inspiration given me today and all the days of my life. Thank you, God, for all the people that came up on a previous podcast just to congratulate me about my podcast now being everywhere. Thank you, God, for every person that came up, and thank you, God, for everyone that passed through that room as well. Thank you, God, for all of my coworkers and their silliness. Thank you for my family and their silliness and all the love. Thank you for this world. Thank you that this is heaven on earth, and there's so much good if you stop looking at the bad. Thank you, God, that the Bible is there, and there are other religious texts that I can read to learn more stuff about. Thank you, God, doing the line, make it plain. That clarity helps so much. Thank you, God, just for all that you have provided. Thank you for all the prayers that you have answered to me and through me. Thank you, God, for allowing me to be one of your vessels. Thank you, God, for this life. Thank you for this now. Thank you for walking with me on my walk this morning. Thank you for being my mouthpiece. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Exercise completed. We did it. We did it. Do the robot. Yeah. Hey. That's a celebration right there. It's a gratitude dance. You can do it too. Okay. Now it's time for the real celebration part. This is where we celebrate you because you're great just being who you are. Woo! That is always fun to celebrate with you guys. It is so, I just love. And I love y'all so very much. If you're listening in and you want to share your favorite affirmation of the day, or share how you're feeling after completing an exercise, or simply want to talk for a few, the time to shine is now. The timer is set for 5 minutes.
Hello. Is that the timer?
That is not the timer. That is, you just ding-dong to the actual seat.
Oh. Hello. It's Maria. I got a message.
How are you?
What are the chances that I would turn on this app and you would be on here right now live? Because
I was talking about you this morning.
I was talking about you this morning because you came into a talk that I was doing this morning, and you, out of like 25 people, was the only person that sent me a message through the chat to say, Maria, we can't hear you.
Okay. I felt bad even saying that because I was like, maybe mine sounds off. So I literally exited the app, changed my Wi-Fi settings, and then it went back. And I was like, I still can't hear you on both of my phones.
No, it was so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. And let me tell you, on Wednesdays at 8 a.m., I go on to Wisdom and I do a talk, and I'm usually talking about some spiritual insight or reading Rumi poetry. Or today I was reading about the second chakra. I was talking about the pleasure principle is about the second chakra. And I was doing this whole thing because I like to use the audio from Wisdom to repurpose onto either my podcast or to Insight Timer because I'm a meditation teacher. But this morning, my mic was off. It was completely my fault. And
it happens.
I got your message.
I know you're dropping gems. That's why I was like, but I can't hear you. This is a good topic, but I can't hear you.
You know, I could pretend that it was a silent meditation. And everyone could feel my energy. But that is not what I was intending.
Oh my God. Well, I'm happy I told you something. But I felt bad, so I was like, maybe it's me, but we'll see if this turns out to be true.
I'm so glad you did. I wanted to thank you so much. That's the reason I raised my hand to come up here. I saw your name and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to thank her so much. Because it's like if you walk out of a restaurant with toilet paper on your shoe, right? You need a friend to tell you.
Girl, okay, so I have a true story about this. This is a true story. Can't make this one up. I am leaving the bathroom out of a movie theater, okay? And I have some stuff. I think it was one of those toilet seat things on my foot. And I don't realize I'm dragging it. My aunt, Felicia, puts her foot behind my foot to stop it and picks up. She's like, baby girl, no. And we just all started laughing. I was like, thank you. Just thank you for having my back.
Exactly. I mean, even if it's somebody you don't know, I wouldn't let somebody go out with their dress tucked up into their panties or something. Like, hello, let a person know. But this morning it was so funny because the chapter, the passage that I was reading was really cool and gave me some insights for some podcast episodes that I'm doing coming up anyway. And because I do voiceover work, doing cold readings is good for me anyway. But I have been using wisdom so I can share it with the audience here while I'm recording and then repurpose it. But this morning, no one could hear me and it wasn't recording. So it was it was just for me. It was just for me. Yes.
And it was a way for you to think that other people were listening in and vibing with you. Okay. Sometimes you need that more like that accountability and that assurance, even though the mic wasn't working.
Yes. Well, that's the thing too. When it says the audience number, I know not to trust it now, because chances are it's just people rolling through the room a little bit. So I'm not sure how I feel about that number. I kind of would rather know a couple of people were in there. Now I'm just kind of, sometimes I'm assuming no one is in the room, even if it says 40 people. But anyway, that's just...
I'll give you this. So
I can hear you. I'm going to go.
Looking at the match, you'll be able to hear me when I say this, but all I was going to say is when you're looking at your actual, after you end the talk, it will tell you the listened time frame. And when you see the listened time frame, you'll know kind of roughly how long people were listening, not really the number of people that were listening. So that's what I look at when if I'm looking at my analytics, instead of looking at, hey, this many people passed through. And so I always thank the people that pass through. They give me the boost of encouragement, even if they don't vibe with me like that. And that's okay. Ba-da-da-da-da. Welcome, Loyce Hampson. How you doing?
How you doing, Charente?
Fantastic.
You said ba-da-da-da-da. You ain't been to McDonald's in how many years? You talking about but?
I don't know. It's programming, Mom.
That was programmed in your head, man. That's a trip. Anyway, you said your favorite affirmation. My favorite affirmation today is, I am more powerful than I know because my spirit is more powerful than I know. That's mine for today. Because I'm seeing things happen and I'm like, did I do that? Okay.
Wow.
So I just wanted to tell you that one. That one's, I am more powerful than I know because my spirit is more powerful than I know.
I feel that one.
I did too. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I got a good one today. I always have some good ones, but that one right there, that one I know this is going to help me through whatever I have to come. That I am more powerful than I know because my spirit is more powerful than I know. Because my little brain can only house so much knowledge and knowing right now. But my spirit has all the knowing. And if I can just rely on it all the time and stop questioning that intuition sometimes, because I still question, but I am more grateful because, and the example is, I've been getting ready for this trip and I'm trying not to neglect anything. And in some cases, some things had to be put aside as far as, I had to break routine so that I could open myself up to receive so that when I get there. And then the other thing is that I picked the date that I was leaving, not knowing that it was one of the most powerful days on the calendar when it comes to the Lionsgate thing that comes only once a year, where you get to start new beginnings and ending and closing off chapters and getting out of fear states and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't even know. I just, something told me to pick that date.
I love that.
Man, I was like, what? Because I just listened to something and I was like, wow, I am. Because somebody told me, I was talking to somebody and said, we are more powerful than we know. And then like, huh? It was like all of a sudden it lit up in my brain. And I was like, what? And then I looked at something a few minutes ago about the August 8th thing. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I booked the trip. And this is way back in February I booked my trip. I didn't know that was a pivotal gate point opening for me to be flying across the Atlantic. Okay? So that is powerful. That is so powerful. And I told you, I've been waiting to receive all that I'm supposed to receive. But I thank you for continuing to do this affirmation station. And congratulations on getting your podcast syndicated on all the little platforms.
Thank you so much. I did mention it. It was part of my venting gratitude. Was never actual announcement, though.
I didn't get here I got here at the end of your, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. Okay. But I'm thankful for that I follow my intuition. I'm thankful for the inspiration that I walk in on a daily basis with inspired action, because inspired action has had me clean out corners and everything before I get ready to leave on this trip. And I was like, I knew I wasn't going to have no energy to do that. I'm going to be real. But inspired action came and I did it and didn't even feel like I did anything. And I'm like, wait, is that all? Is that all? And, to me in my head, it was a mountain.
Oh, those thoughts. They make a mountain out of nothing.
Yeah, but that mountain has dissolved into a couple of dirty dishes. Okay? The mountain is dissolved. The closet room is clean. Come on, Tokyo, stop. So thank you for doing your affirmation station. This is my energy high, so she all over me. But I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye. I absolutely love it. I love when my mom joins. I love when guests join. I love having people on the stage with me. Someone asked me in the back channel in regards to when I put on the Wisdom app, live recorded. When I say live recorded, that means that this podcast that I'm currently talking on right now is going to another platform. So your voice will be heard if you do come up as a guest. Generally speaking, I will ask you for your social media information when I do my posting so that people can find you if they want to partner with you on something because of something that you said. So please know that if you were a guest, I will be reaching out. And that, because I also repurpose this also on YouTube as well, just so you are aware of where these recordings go for me for when they ask Affirmation Station specifically. So today, guys, we are going to be having a little bit of a conversation about something. And that something is in regards to how to start a business step-by-step guide. We're not going to go into all of the specifics, but we're going to go into a lot of the overview. I will also give you personal experience for me in regards to setting up my business while we go over these steps as well. Just give me one little moment right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so someone asked also in the back channels, is Wisdom okay with multi-streaming? A friend got in trouble, so I stopped. So I will say for me, I don't multi-stream anymore. I used to when I was on Wisdom and I was also doing TikTok. I have stopped doing that because that is too much tasking. I call that multitasking, and that was really hard for my brain to do. So I live stream just solely on the Wisdom app. And then from the recording that Wisdom records, I download that and I take that over to Buzzsprout to then upload. If you don't want to be... if you are a guest and you don't want to be featured, let me know and I will edit the audio to edit you out. I don't mind doing that whatsoever. Just let me know and I'll make sure that gets done. Okay, so the topic of the day, how to start a business step-by-step guide. This was published by the Business News Daily specifically. And like I said, I'm going to give you the stuff that I vibed with and that rings true for me based off my experience. So if you're just starting out with a business, I will say this. It starts with an idea. the idea of the business that you're even looking to do. That could mean that you want to do vending machines and get them in different places and spaces to put them in. I can make digitals about certain topics that I know about, or journals. That could be, I have a business idea. I'm going to invent this thing and I'm going to sell this thing because it's the newest thing. It all starts by, okay. So no worries. The reason why we have a back channel is so that we can figure some things out. I'm going to pause on the topic really fast just so I can answer this question because they're asking a question. So, so we can repurpose the audio, just not live in the current moment, so that you are spending time in engaging with the Wisdom platform, because that's what the Wisdom platform was intended to do, is to engage with other humans out there. And when you are multi-streaming, I would just recommend that you don't do Wisdom at the exact same time, especially if you're doing a visual cast, only because that means your attention might get split. And having split attention takes away from you and takes away from your power and your voice. So using platforms and spaces like StreamYard is a very good tool to use because it puts all your comments in one place, and you can still stream on Twitch, Facebook, as well as YouTube, and different platforms like that. So there are options out there for you. I just recommend not doing audio and pairing a visual together because it's a lot, for me, more than my brain could handle at the time. So I got you. Okay, now let's go back to the topic again. I don't mind answering questions in the back channel. I really don't. So when we were talking about refining your idea, if you're thinking of starting a business, you already have the idea of what you want to sell online, or at least the market you want to enter. Do a quick research on the Google if you want to for existing companies in your chosen industry. Learn what current brand leaders are doing and figure out how you can do it better. If you think your business can deliver something other companies don't currently, or deliver the same thing only faster and cheaper, you've got a solid idea and you are ready to create a business plan. Okay, so you can do the exact same thing as someone else, or you can do it a little bit differently. It just really all depends. When I was personally doing my market research for me saying I was going to be a life coach, I was looking at the Tony Robbinsons. I was looking at some other big, really big names. And then I realized that for me, I am uniquely created in and of myself because I do a little bit more than what they do when it comes to their leadership. I love their leadership. I can take from what they do. I can also see that their points that they always try to deliver are always on the exact same thing. But seeing what the someone else is doing, not doing a comparison, but doing an analysis of this is what they're doing. Let's see if any of these things works for me and figure out what vibes with you. And I will call that section of things refining the idea and really narrowing it down. So now we have to, after we get the idea, we have to define your why. This is the why behind the what. Okay, it's good to know why you're launching a business. In the process, it may be wise to differentiate between whether the business serves a personal why or a marketplace why. When your why is focused on meeting a need in the marketplace, the scope of your business will always be larger than a business that is designed to serve a personal need. Okay? You can always also consider franchising. And that simply means to open a franchise of an established business. The concept, brand, following, and business model are already in place. All you need is a good location and the means to fund your operation. So think like McDonald's. That is a franchise. 7-Eleven, that is a franchise. So do you want to do that? You can brainstorm your business ideas as the next step. Regardless of which option you choose, it's vital to understand the reasoning behind your idea. Okay. If you do not get this, it makes it also harder for you to figure out what your target audience is. Because your why, I'll say this, your why really drives you. The why behind my what for my business, personally speaking, is I want to help others. While helping others, I also want to get paid. That was simple. That was it. I'm already doing this thing, and I love what I do, and I love helping people, but I also want to get paid while doing it. That was my why behind my what. And by helping others, that means that they're living in their better life, and that makes the world a better place by me extending that hand. That is the reason why I do what I do. And I don't mind going first with learning all the things that I've learned so that I can help someone else, because I'm able to disseminate information in a way that I can articulate it to a child if I should want to. And in that sentence, I would say, I'm able to explain really big concepts in tiny ways. That's another way to say that. So figuring out your idea, figuring out your why behind your what, and let's now talk about clarifying your target customers. Okay, people sometimes often jump into launching their business without spending the time to think about who their customers will be, or why they would want to buy from them or even hire them. You need to clarify why you want to work with these customers. Do you have a passion for making people's lives easier, or enjoy creating art to bring color to their world? Identifying these answers helps clarify your mission. Third, you want to define how you will provide this value to your customers and how to communicate that value in a way that they will always be willing to pay for that awesome service. During the ideation phase, so the idea phase, you will need to iron out the major details. If the idea isn't something you're passionate about, or if there's not a market for your creation, it might be time to brainstorm other ideas so that you have the money to do whatever it is. When you're not passionate about it, that means your heart also might not be in it. If your heart's not in it, people can feel it. Trust me when I say people can feel it. They can see it. They can peep it. So be in a business that you're passionate about, a business that you'll wake up and be like, I am so happy I have this business, that type of business. I'm so happy to contribute to help with this type of business, whatever that looks like. If it can't get you out of bed, then my question is, why did you just create another job that you don't like? Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Now, we're going to be talking about writing a business plan. I have heard advice from many people. There's a lot of people that don't do a business plan, okay? And I will say for me, I did two business plans this past year, and I thought it was one business plan. After writing it out, it didn't make sense for it to be two. I had to separate it. And it's two different companies, technically. So when I did that, I was able to see the true problems the people that I was going to be serving are going to face. And I was also seeing how my business is going to solve that problem. I also learned about market research, because you have to do that. That's a part of your business plan. I also learned in regards to figuring out my pricing for my services. How am I going to be marketing my business? All of these things is in the business plan, and doing a business plan, even if it's a one-pager, is still helpful. It's starting somewhere besides trying to pull everything out of your head. Writing it down and making it plain within a plan is very helpful to your bottom line of you not being a business that fails in the first 5 years. Have a business plan. Okay, let's talk about it a little bit more. Now that you've had your idea in place, okay, you will need to ask yourself a few important questions. What is the purpose of your business? Who are you selling to? What are your end goals? How will you finance your startup cost? These questions can be answered in a well-written business plan. A lot of mistakes are made by new businesses rushing into things without pondering these aspects of the business. You need to find your target base, okay, of customers. Who is going to buy your product or service? If you can't find evidence that there's a demand for your idea, then what will the point be? When we're thinking about this supply, demand, microeconomics, if there is a demand, you can be a supplier and you can find your point on that line. But if there is no demand and you add a supply, you can't always guarantee that a demand's going to come after you have the supply. Okay. Now let's talk about conducting market research. This is a part of your business plan. Conducting market research on your field and demographics of potential clientele is an important part of crafting a business plan. This involves conducting surveys, holding focus groups, and researching SEO, which is search engine optimization, and public data. Market research helps you understand your target customer, their needs, preferences, and behavior, as well as your industry and competitors. Many small business professionals recommend gathering demographic information and conducting a competitive analysis to better understand opportunities and limitations within your market. The best small businesses have products or services that are differentiated, so they're different from the competition. This has a significant impact on your competitive landscape and allows you to convey unique value to your potential customers. So let me give you an example. If y'all have ads, y'all have probably seen where Charmin or Scott talk mess about the other brand, and they'll say similar to whatever. They have done the market research and have figured out the different proposition values. So for Charmin, the reason why what they always tout out about their unique ability is that they're always super, super soft and less is more. Okay, that's always been their stuff. And that's why they said they're better than Scott, because Scott is all about efficiency and slender. Okay, unless you're getting the cushiony one. They always have a unique value when you're looking at different things like that. I will say, when you're thinking about starting a business, really start looking at all businesses like Amazon. How do they do what they do? Google, how do they do what they do? The shop that just opened up at that new plaza next to you, how did they do what they did? What steps did they take? What is the message that they're coming at? What is the problem that they are solving? What are they actually doing? Asking these questions when you're just in your everyday out and about will also help you tailor things to your business, because you can see things that you like and see things that you don't like. And then you get to choose for your business what you want to do based off all the data that you've also witnessed and experienced yourself. Okay. Now we're going to talk about considering an exit strategy. It's a very good idea to consider an exit strategy as you compile your business plan. Generating some idea of how you'll eventually exit the business force lets you be able to look into the future just to see how things are going to go. Are you thinking about passing this on to your family? Are you thinking about you getting the business up and running to a certain point and then selling the business? What is your exit plan for this venture? So this person, his name is Josh Tolley, CEO of both Shaft Capital and Canvana, says too often new entrepreneurs are so excited about their business and so sure everyone everywhere will be a customer that they give very little, if any, time to show the plan on leaving the business. You have to think about how you're going to exit. There's always an exit strategy, even when you're in a car. The exit strategy is pulling the handle and getting out. Okay? I have had examples where I've been in cars that I have not been able to get out because I don't understand the exit strategy. I had to Google it. Not joking. This happened in a Tesla. Can't make this up. Funniest thing ever. You need an exit strategy for your business. You need one. So I'm going to give you some examples of all exit strategies. When you board a plane, what is the first thing that they show you? How to get off. When you go to a movie, what do they point out before the feature begins to play? Where the exits are. Your first week of kindergarten, they line all the kids up and teach them fire drills to exit the building. Too many times we have witnessed people not knowing an exit strategy and thinking that they just have to be in the business their entire life. You don't have to be in a business your entire life. You don't. Okay. And when you don't take the time to do this can lower your company's value and even destroy your family relationships. So what's your exit? Okay. And it's not because you couldn't do it. It simply is, this is a really good business and you want to make some other businesses. And there's nothing wrong with that. A business plan definitely helps you figure out where your business is going, how it will overcome any potential difficulties, and what you need to sustain it. Okay, when you're ready, pull out a pen and paper, okay? And then I want you to go on your phone, type into Google, business plan template, and I want you to start writing down your business plan. Just start writing down. And the reason I want you to do that is so that you can get a better idea of where you are, different things of you don't know, and you might feel fear. When you feel fear, research. And you'll generally figure out your answer. And if you can't, God will send you someone to help you figure out that answer. Okay? Now let's talk about the third thing when you're starting up a business. You have to assess your finances. Starting any business has a price. So you need to determine how you're going to cover those costs. Does this mean that how are you going to fund it? Are you going to borrow the money? Do you have the means of the money currently? If you're planning to leave your current job to focus on your business, do you have the money put away to support yourself until you make a profit? Okay. And there are startup cost calculators that you can go and find on Google as well to go see what that might actually be, the entry, if you will. Many startups fail because they run out of money before they turn a profit. It's a bad idea to overestimate the amount of a startup capital you need, as it can be a while before the business begins to bring in sustainable revenue. Okay? Hear me when I say this. It takes a minute because you're still ironing stuff out. I'll be absolutely honest. First year I was in business, it was, let's just say, negative, and it was a 5K figure. Okay? Okay. And that was from my own personal finances. I'm my own angel investor. You're your own first angel investor before you get other investors involved. And I will say this, if you don't have a business plan and you do plan to get investors, it makes it hard for them to say yes because they like having a plan to see what's going on. So having a business plan is very helpful for also getting things from investors, venture capitalists, and anything when it comes to finances, really when it comes to your business. So figuring this out, writing out the business plan, figuring out your finances, figuring out where things are going to go, where things are going to flow. One thing I will say for you now is this. I'm going to give you this book recommendation. I love this book. It's called Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. It literally talks about how you're having 4 accounts is very important, and making sure you also have an owner's compensation of that so that you do get paid while your business is being a business and it is making money. And sometimes after you do all their operational costs and you don't pay yourself, you generally don't have any more money. The profit first is you pay yourself first, and then for the operations, you figure it out. You find free services until you can pay for services, kind of thing. That's what you do. You figure it out. So profit first if you're already in business, putting out a portion for yourself and then a portion for taxes, a portion for in regards to potential chargeback, a portion for operations such as if you are doing social media, a portion for ad spend, that's part of your operations too. Like, these are different things that you should have a view on and know that these are things that you'll be putting money towards. Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk about how do you perform a break-even analysis. One way you determine how much money you need is to perform a break-even analysis. This is an essential element of financial planning that helps business owners determine when their business, product, or service will be profitable. The formula is simple. Hear me when I say this. Math is coming back, y'all. If you haven't been in grade school for a while, math is coming back. So this is the formula. It's your fixed cost divided by your average price minus your variable cost, which is your break-even point. Let me explain it like this a little bit better. Take the average price minus the variable cost, put that in parentheses, those two things. That's where you will then do the divide of the fixed cost. The reason I explain like this is because I have to remember PRENDIS, which is parentheses first, and then you go into the multiplication, division, and then subtraction at the very end of it. So do your average price minus your variable cost. That is the right side of that equation. The left side is fixed cost. There's a divide in the middle of that. That will equal your break-even point. Every entrepreneur should use this formula as a tool because it informs you about the minimum performance your business must achieve to avoid losing money. Furthermore, it helps you understand exactly where your profits come from so you can set production goals accordingly. I'm going to give you some common reasons to conduct a break-even analysis, okay? One, it determines your profitability. This is generally every business owner's highest interest. Ask yourself this question. How much revenue do I need to generate to cover all of my expenses? Which products or services turn a profit? And which ones are sold at a loss? Second thing to think about. Price a product or service. When most people think about doing the pricing of this, they consider how much their product costs to create and how competitors are pricing their products. These are some things to ask yourself. What are the fixed rates? What are the variable rates? And what is the total cost? What is the cost of any physical good? What is the cost of labor? This helps you with pricing. I know for me, I have my current price for my life coaching, and my price is my price, and my price is not changing because I also went through how long did it take me to acquire the knowledge that I did? How much time did it take me? How much pain did I go through as well? And then also what physical, tangible things am I also giving the client too? In addition to all of that, and additionally, also thinking about all of my operations in regards to me meeting people on Zoom, them always getting a summary of our conversation on Evernote paired with their transcription of our conversation so they can always listen back to themselves as a reflective assignment. That all costs money. So when I'm thinking about my coaching costs, I'm putting those costs in there because that's also important too, besides me actually fostering that conversation and providing the healing that takes place. And that's mainly by the person living their life and making some more choices that are in their highest alignment. Okay. Now we're going to talk about one more thing when it comes to figuring this how to conduct a break-even analysis. We're going to analyze the data, okay? What volumes of goods or services do you have to sell to be profitable? Okay, you can ask this question to you for this particular section. How can I reduce my overall fixed cost? How can I reduce my variable cost per unit? How can I improve sales? So for me, what this looked like was me actually taking the time to see all the subscriptions that I had currently out for my business, seeing what the benefits of those services were, seeing how much those services were per month or per year, seeing if I already paid for them or I haven't paid for them full for the year, and then finding out that I was overpaying by $60 a month when I didn't need to be, because I had duplicative things that I was subscribed to and I wasn't even using these things. So take a look at what that looks like. And by me cutting down some subscriptions, I have saved on my costs per month for my business. But do the evaluation. It's not scary. And the reason why I say it's not scary is because you walk out feeling informed and better and more clear about your business for you taking the time to do this analysis to understand what is the break-even point. And know that it's going to happen in divine timing. That might be a day. That might mean 2 years. It's going to happen. I can't tell you when, but it will happen. And always reducing down when you can, but not reducing the quality is beautiful when you're doing this analysis and when you're thinking about stuff. You don't want to take away. You want to add to with a discount, of course, when it comes to finances. Now, here's a big one. We're watching our expenses. We really got to watch these. Don't overspend when starting your business. Please understand the types of purchases that make sense for your business and avoid overspending on fancy new equipment that won't help you reach your business goals. Monitor your business expenses to ensure you're staying on track. Okay. So this next quote comes from Gene Paladin. He's the founder and CEO of Rare Form New Media. He says, a lot of startups tend to spend money on unnecessary things. We worked with a startup that had 2 employees, but spent a huge amount on office space that fit 20 people. They also leased a professional high-end printer that was more suited for a team of 100. It had key cards to track who was printing what and when. Spend as little as possible when you start, and the only things that are essential for the business to grow and to be successful. Luxuries can come when you're established. I'm going to repeat that last sentence. Luxuries can come when you're established. Okay. I will say this. I will gift myself stuff here and there. Like for my birthday, I gifted myself a podcasting set. That was my gift to myself. But I don't overdo it anymore. When I said it was 5 figures, y'all, I really didn't mean it was the lower part of the 5 figures. But it was a sizable amount of money that even I'm like, God, where'd this money come from? First of all. Second of all, how did I spend this much? And this is why I actually keep Excel sheets. And this is why I should do this also for my business too. This shouldn't just be for my personal life. I learned this lesson the hard way. So before you spend 5 figures on your business, map some things out, okay? Take it from me that spent the money. You don't need to spend the money like this. Just figure it out, okay? You never know. Just figure it out. So now let's talk about that. You're considering the funding options, okay? Startup capital for your business can come from various means. The best way to acquire your funding for your business depends on several factors, including creditworthiness, the amount of money needed, and the available options. So these options can look like business loans, business grants, investors, crowdfunding, okay? It could be any of these things. And when you are thinking of these things, I will say this. Research. Understand the conditions and the terms and conditions before you sign anything. And I will also say this. When it comes to interest rates and you're taking out loans, be mindful what that interest rate's going to be. This doesn't matter if it's for your personal or it's for your business. Be mindful and make the best decision possible, and do the math. If you do not believe you are going to be able to pay exceedingly above that loan to make sure that you pay little to no interest on that loan, then go ahead and do it. But if you don't think you're going to be able to go above and beyond, I don't recommend taking out a loan. I recommend looking at grants first. Grants are free money, but they also come with stipulations. It's possible though. And there are a lot of grants. There are grants that are available for women-owned business. There's grants available for LGBTQIA plus community grants. There are grants for Latinx. There are grants in the UK. There are grants everywhere, okay, for all the different little labels. There really are. The money's there. It's also you taking the time to research and to apply for them, okay? I will say this. If you're a current business owner and you want to find a grant sooner rather than later and the research done for you, I do have a list. If you click on my face or you go to my link below, you are going to be able to see the list and the Excel sheet of all the current grants out there giving money. Okay, that's globally, that's in the United States, Ireland, Australia, and so forth. Take a look in that book. It's already done for you. Okay, the next thing where I'm going to talk about really fast is investors. When you're thinking about investors, please know that there are different ways to pay them. Okay, you can pay them in a payment plan. You can pay them by them getting a certain percentage of your company. You can pay them by, what's another one? I would say investors. Or exchange of services. I call those investors too. Where you do a service for them and they do a service back for you. But it's still helping each other out. Still an investor of some sort. But figure out those terms and conditions. And crowdsourcing, you can always do that. You could launch a equity crowdsourcing campaign to raise smaller amounts of money from multiple backers. Crowdfunding has honestly helped numerous companies in recent years. And there are dozens of reliable crowdfunding platforms designed for different types of businesses. But also look at the stipulations in regards to when you pull out the stuff. There's always stipulations everywhere. Look at the fine print, y'all. Please make sure you look at the fine print. Now let's go ahead and talk about choosing the right bank account. When you're choosing a bank account, size matters, okay? So a lot of people that I've done the research on, they always recommend that you get a smaller community bank because they're more in tune with local market conditions and they'll work with you based on your overall business profile and your character. Okay. Big banks really look at your credit score more than that, and they don't really try to work with you. But if you go in person to one of your credit unions, things can actually happen. Things can work out in your favor a little bit more. And also when you're thinking about getting a business bank account is that you want to look at the fees, y'all. How much each month is this bank account costing me? Especially say you make no money that month. How much is it costing you if no money is sitting in there? How much? What's the price? And then can you afford that price for whatever the bank account is on a continual basis? Some things to think about, okay? Another reason why you'll choose a smaller bank is because the decisions are made at a branch level. And they are much quicker than if you go to a big bank, which are generally made on a higher level and it goes through more channels. It's expeditious, if you will. Okay, these are some questions that you might want to ask yourself when you're considering a bank for your business. What is important to me? Do I want to build a close relationship with a bank that's willing to help me in any way possible? Do I want to be just another bank account like big banks will view me as? Ultimately, the right bank for your business comes down to your needs. Writing down your banking needs can narrow down your focus to what you should be looking for. And go ahead, I call this the dating season. go ahead and date some of these banks, okay? Schedule some meetings with various banks and ask questions about how they work with small businesses so you can find out what's the best bank for you. For me, I went with a big bank. And that's only so I can make sure I have a business bank account so things can come from my business bank account instead of coming from my personal to help me understand and do my reconciliation for tax season at the end of the year. I realized going into tax season this past year, it was harder because I had to go search and find and actually reconcile my personal transactions, see which ones were my actual business ones. It wasn't the easiest, which is for me, I opened up anything. Do what you're going to do. You're going to live with what you do, okay? But I have a business bank account. I will probably get a smaller account, but I wanted to get something done, so I did not risk having more work to deal with next year like I did this year. So do what's right for you in the moment. And like I said, you can always have another business bank account later. Now we're going to talk about the fourth thing really fast, and then we're going to go ahead and keep it pushing, okay? This is for Career Wednesday. So the last thing we're going to talk about, I'm not going to give you step 5, 6, and 7. You can go and look at the website yourself for that. It's at thebusinessnewsdaily.com. This is the information that I'm reading from, so you guys know my source, besides me also telling you the stories about me, okay? You have to determine your legal business structure. Before you can register your company, you need to decide what kind of entity it is. Your business structure legally affects everything from how you file your taxes to your personal liability if things go awry. Okay? So, if you have a sole proprietorship, this simply means if you own the business entirely by yourself and plan to be responsible for all the debts, obligations, you can register for a sole proprietorship. Be warned that this route can affect your personal credit. Now let's say you're deciding about a partnership. If you do a business partnership, as the name implies, it means that 2 or more people are held personally liable as business owners. You don't have to go at it alone if you can find a business partner with complementary skills to your own. It's usually a good idea to add someone into the mix to help your business flourish. There's also where you can file as a corporation, okay? And the reason why you do that, if you want separate personal liability from your company's liability, then this is the type for you. There are different types. There's the S Corp, C Corp, and B Corp, okay? Although each type of corporation is subject to different guidelines, these structures generally makes a business a separate entity from its owners, and therefore corporations can own property, assume liability, pay taxes, enter contracts, sue, and be sued like any other individuals. Corporations, especially C corporations, are especially suitable for new businesses that plan on going public or seeking funding from venture capitalists in the near future. Okay? Now, here's the last one. That's generally when you're thinking about a business. This is in the United States specifically. A LLC, also known as a limited liability company. This is one of the most common structures, okay? This is a hybrid structure that has the legal protections of a corporation while allowing for tax benefits of a partnership, okay? So, mind you, if you are LLC, that means that you can file as a sole proprietor, or you can file as a S corporation when it comes to your taxes. I do the sole proprietorship. I haven't made enough revenue to warrant me going into S corps. There's a time and a place for everything. And mind you, you can always change if you're currently doing a sole proprietorship into filing as an S corp on your taxes. That is doable. That change can happen. Okay. Ultimately, it's up to you to determine which type of entity is best for your current needs and future business goals. It's important to learn about the various legal business structures available. If you're struggling to make up your mind, it's not a bad idea to discuss the decision with a business or a legal advisor. Mind you, you can also go to Rocket Lawyer and stuff like that, and they will tell you further information, and they will actually help you walk through registering your business. And I will say this, is that when you actually finish filing for your business structure, after you do it, you want to go to the IRS to get an EIN number only after you have filed and you have officially been accepted as that business in your state. The reason is that if the name that you are choosing has already been taken and you already have an EIN number, you can't use that EIN. You can only use it with the legal name that the business currently is that's registered in your state. So making sure they're the exact same is important. So these steps that I'm telling you are important in the order of filing the LLC, then getting an EIN, which is an employer identification number. This is within the United States specifically. Addition to that, I will also say, before adding to your team, you're going to need to know what they're going to be doing, understanding how you're going to be onboarding, understanding how are you going to be interviewing them to test their qualifications to make sure that they're going to mesh well with you, and figuring out what that looks like. If that means you're going to hire people on Fiverr or on Upwork.com, then that's what that means. If it means that you're going to find someone in your local community, you need to know what that person's going to be doing, what the goal is, what the metric is going to look like, how much you're willing to pay them. You're going to need to be able to figure that out, because that is also a part about having a business. Okay. And mind you, you can always have your main business and have a DBA, which is a doing business as name. So my name is actually JCLV. My doing business as is JCLV21. Just so you know. A DBA is just a fictitious name that also means your business. Please know there's also trademarking that can go involved, copyright, patents when it comes to your business. There's a lot. There's also, you can buy business insurance as well. You have to choose vendors depending on what you're doing and stuff like that. Even if you are a life coach and you're selling courses, what vendor are you going to be using that's going to host all of your courses? Figuring out your vendor, what works for you, what best suits you, your brand, your business. My brand is simply this: I am here to love and uplift. That's it. I'm here to love and uplift. And I think about that when I'm going into any room or any spaces and places. That is always my mission. That is my vision. That is my mini slogan for myself. I go to love and uplift. And then figuring out for yourself how are you going to advertise it with your company website, social media, your customer relationship manager or your CRM, and then your logo. Mind you, at any of these phases and places, you can always add help, ask people for help. There are generally free organizations that are out there. So I know there's generally chambers of commerces in a lot of different cities in the United States that you can go to that are free. There is a nonprofit in Atlanta called Operation Hope, which is something that I used that helped me to do my business plan. What else is there? This is me thinking on top of my head, so let me think. What else do you have? Yeah, there's generally local state stuff that have commerce that will help you. My program in Vegas is called SCORE, and they help businesses get established, understand credit, and understand really how to build a business, and they're a free support. So find out wherever you are, there's free support. Look up free business resources and then put your area in Google and see what populates and go with the flow and see what resonates with you and work with the people that you want to work with. That's the end of this conversation and this talk about how to get started when you want to have a business, a step-by-step guide I went through a lot. I covered a lot in this time period. If you're just tuning in and you want to hear more, start from the beginning. Listen to the replay. This will be available on Spotify later. A lot later, but later. Figure out what works best for you. You got this. I know you're going to be able to accomplish having a business. I know you're going to be successful. And always remember, this is something that my mom gave me. This is a gift that she gave me. Research, develop, execute, reanalyze, and I will say take some notes, reassess, and then go back into your Be Flourishing to be able to teach it to somebody else. Okay, so this part of this talk is going to tell you about the free gifts that are available to you. If you go ahead and take a look at my link tree or look below, you are going to see the life check-in form, which lets you know where you are in your mind, your health, your career, and your finances. By you having the awareness, you can now foster the change that you wish to see. And if you're looking for additional help and support, feel free to reach out to me. I am here to support you in that way. If you want all the replays to Affirmation Station, currently out there right now, they're all available on the Wisdom app, and you can see that on this link tree and go to it. Also, you're going to see a thing for the Lighten Up Your Life with Charente Facebook community, where I show wellness resources in regards to your mind, your health, your career, and your finances. As day goes on, I provide wisdom and value in there. Love speaking people up, giving them kudos, high-fiving them, and doing life. So join the community. Let's lighten up your life today. It's a free community to join. I look forward to meeting and engaging with you. If you just want to connect with me because you like the vibes that you're hearing, go ahead and connect with me. I'm available on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. I believe I covered everything. TikTok. And it's all under Charente Carr, which is CharenteCarr. Or click the links. I make it super easy for you. I just want to thank you so much for being with me in this moment. And oh no, the sound just told me it's time for us to go. So thank you so much for riding with me to your next destination, to this place. It's time for the train, though, to keep it to the move on, because it chugga, choo, choo, keep going if you do. Thank you for listening, and thank you so much for riding with me for Affirmation Station. Thank you so much for working with me when it comes to loving you, and you loving on yourself today by you doing the 4 exercises of Words of Affirmation, conscious breathing, EFT tapping, and venting your gratitude. I'm so proud of you for taking that time with me today, listening, tuning in, and just being yourself. You may now exit the train and head to your next destination. There are transfer lines available to the best day ever on platform 2, or the worst day ever on platform 3. Choose how you're going to see your day. I will see you guys tomorrow, or you'll listen in tomorrow for No Thirst Thursday. And this is going to be recorded in divine timing of Affirmation Station. I love you to infinity and beyond. I hope you have a fantabulous day today. Ta-ta for now. Affirmation Station, Affirmation Station. What's today's affirmation? Thank you so much for listening in to this new episode of Affirmation Station Show. Remember to rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast streaming platform. Be sure to give me a follow or DM me on Instagram at Charente Carr your key takeaways and your thoughts on this episode and what future topics I should cover. That's all for now. Until next time, see you.